There. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody. So are y'all ready?
So
It's I don't know. It's gonna be a hot one today.
we can't hear you, Sharice.
Oh, I can
Sharice,
hear her.
I can't hear
She went
Sharice.
out. Oh yeah, I can't hear her either now.
I can't hear you,
Now the
Sharice.
microphone. Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check
Um,
1 2. Still can't hear you.
That's
We
terrible.
can't hear you.
You gotta switch it up. Switch it up. Um,
Hey,
how we?
can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
you now.
now we can.
I am so sorry. There you go. Like that's why. Okay. Um, so the
Hey, look, it's live. This is what happens live TV. This will happen at Kevin Hart roast. This will happen at Cat Williams live TV. That's what's
it
up.
does happen. It does.
That's how
Um,
they know it's not recorded.
that's
Although
how
we
you
could,
know.
we
Yeah, we
could,
are actually live. We did not
we
record
could try to
earlier.
like act like this was happen, but that's actually a good
'Cause
strategy for content
some
creators.
people do that. Like you can, for hey content creators, if you didn't know, you can pre-record and then make it appear that you're live. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to out the folks that do it, but as you can see, we are obviously actually live. So yeah, so much going on. Like you got Kendrick breaking another record, like whoa. You got Caitlin Clark and the whole racial bias marketability conversation. I think we are all ready to dig into that. 2020 showed us like let's get that combo started, let's keep it going. One of my favorites, Miss Hill, Lauren Hill, who I will forever be thankful to have had the presence, the opportunity to connect with and pray with in this lifetime, has some new news coming as well with her son, her grandson, Bob Marley's grandson. So there's just a lot to get into. Thanks for jumping in with us. I am Cherise. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of hiphoptruth.com. And I will let my awesome, dope co-hosts jump in right now. If you are watching a replay, please send us a DM or a comment. Just let us know if you have any questions, especially about some of the content concepts that we're talking about or the tools, because we might be able to send you something like to help you get a little discount, a little free 99 action on what we're using. So I'll slide it to you guys.
What's up, y'all? I'm 10G. I'm like the yellow lines in the street. I'm everywhere. That's what somebody told me one time. He was like, "Man, I see you everywhere." I said, "I know. I'm like the yellow lines in the street."
Well, I
That's
guess
such a New Yorker. That's such a New York thing to say. So
Well, I
I
guess
love
when you've got experience being the Washington D.C. bureau chief for TMZ, like you have to be out there crisscrossing when you've got experience that you've got that 10G. Yeah, absolutely. And then Martin with your
that.
being on the ground floor of Black Twitter and ground floor of Black Planet and like y'all, I'm rolling with some real ones here. I'm just letting you know. It's like I'm rolling with some real ones. But go ahead, Martin. Tell us your what's up.
Hey everybody, this is Martin Pratt here. I just since Cherise said that, I was talking about you yesterday, Cherise, because a lot of people don't know if you're a veteran, and I was telling a story about you. How I found out that you were a veteran and that you actually were injured in basic training. And they're like, "What happened?" I was like, I never asked her. I don't think I felt comfortable. I was still in shock that she enlisted. Like I was just still like, So when I talk about real ones, when I think about real people, are the veterans that put their lives on the line so that we have this freedom that we probably take for granted every day. And so those are real ones: teachers, medical professionals, foster care parents. For what I do, I just have fun talking online. So I don't know about being a real one, but I will say to your point that Mr. 10G Collin over there talk about he everywhere. Um, it takes a lot to last 10 years, 7 years in a content game and then past 10 years, it really takes a lot, because it takes a toll on you having to deal with the up and down of the news cycle, but also the up and down of the tools, of the industry itself, of all the BS, of all the publicists, of all the people that shuck and jive, So he is a real one. I play a journalist, but I'm excited for this conversation because I definitely think we have some interesting lessons this week for content creators. And I'm curious to see, I know that Tin and I, we talk every day, and we're going to go back and forth on one of the topics. And we both said, let's stop talking about it. Let's bring it to the show.
And we've also got with Memorial Day being on the horizon. Hey there, Nate Green Sr. Thanks for jumping in and rocking with us. Great reminder to shout out the first responders. I mean, I think COVID really opened it should have if it didn't, but I know it opened a lot my eyes even more so to how important first responders are and have been, So thanks for jumping in with us, Nate, and thanks for that reminder. Y'all, this is a two-way conversation. So if you're watching and like just like that, like jump in and we'll share if we can.
Yeah. I also like I love firefighters. I don't know, firemen. I learned something, in knowing a couple of firefighters. It's like not until 9/11 did they realize how important firefighters are. And that's when you saw a difference in the salaries. It went like, you're talking about 5X and 6X after 9/11, all those salaries for firefighters just exploded. So, I always look at it when it comes to the police officer and firefighters. I was like, I think firefighters are more courageous because they're jumping in that damn fire. That police officer, he's sitting back there, pow, he ducking and he thinking. Those firefighters, they don't think twice, And just like first responders, it's like, yo, we going and this is what we're doing. We're jumping in it right away. So, but anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the content. So, what are we jumping in first? What you got going, Martin? What you saying?
I think the thing that stood out to me after the NCAA season we had, I was curious to see what would happen when Ms. Clark actually got into WNBA, and also Ms. Reese. And it's really interesting in the media what that has led to. And I think this article particularly calls it the Clark effect. But I know you have a different opinion, but I really feel like if Miss Clark was named Miss Johnson in a different hue, we wouldn't be having this conversation at all.
I disagree, Martin. And this is what I'm gonna tell you. What she's been able to do, she's made women's basketball more not just entertaining. She brought a different, not audience, but she brought the showtime to women's basketball in a sense of like her scoring ability. It all plays into this, right? When most people don't know, probably 30 years, I forget exactly how long ago, the NBA, they weren't even on primetime television. They were actually on tape delay. Not until Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came in the league did they give that effect where it was a battle where people wanted to see them, and they took the NBA to where it is today. They took it to the billion-dollar industry it is. So sometimes you need that one specific player that's going to take it, and then it's going to showcase all the good things around it. And that's what she's been able to do. And her marketing, and, you might think, oh, just because she has a different hue and, they're just giving her. No, she's actually like that. She's really, really nice. And what most people don't understand or even know, she's not even, I would even say, the best player that came out of that draft. Most people will say talent-wise, the second pick was better, but she doesn't have the overall personality. And, you got to remember what Caitlin does. She relates to average sized people, like women and young kids. So that they're looking at her, it's like it's the same Steph Curry effect that he had. And why of course, he's talented and a great shooter, but he made it whereas any other kid out there playing basketball feel like they could get into the NBA because he's only 6'1", whatever it is. But they had an opportunity, and that's what she brought. And then how fearless she is and how she played the game just took on its own. And she's been able to, the effect that she's had where now with the WNBA, they was flying commercial. She's allowed them now to, their budgets have gone up. When it comes to being on TV, those TV deals have increased. So all these different franchises, these teams, they're getting a lot more exposure, more money's coming into them. They're selling out their arenas. So their merch is selling. So all these opportunities are like, you're talking about probably 6 to 16x these people were getting. Probably, I don't even know the numbers. I would probably say she's probably put a 20x on some of these franchises. And if you look, you got 3 new cities that are opening up a team. Toronto's opening up a new team. So it's not by coincidence. It's had that when she brought in 19 million viewers to watch a game, and how she's done it for that, last couple, games toward the end of the series. So she's, whether you want to say how talented she is, she's bringing an entertainment value to women's basketball now. And it's not only just going to stop there. She's going to open the eyes up to a lot more other sports as well, where it was mainly dominated by men, like in UFC and all that stuff. People don't realize how big UFC is for women fighters. They don't even look at them as just women fighters. They're fighters. So she's going to equal out and balance that out with the WNBA right now. And this is what I'm seeing from a marketing perspective, talent perspective, and just the branding when it comes to WNBA and women's sports in particular.
So I think it's a bit of there's a couple things. Like one, like the effect that she's having and the success that she's already having.
Come on, Therese, just say it. Martin's right. Just say it, Therese. Come on.
She doesn't want to say that. She knows money. She knows what speaks.
I mean, I'm kind of on the straddling the fence, to be honest with this, right? I really am. So one, like when we look at like what she's like, the effect as far as she's having just a numbers situation, right? Like, I mean, you see this right here, 17,000 spectators, during even beforehand with the double.
That smile. He over there smiling like.
So when you look at 17,000, Sharice, how many sodas was bought there? How many hot dogs were bought there? How many merch was bought at that just little spectators open practice?
Right. So there's a bit. I know for those who are not following from Hip Hop Truth Nation and all that. I was a soda executive. So you're right. Like one of the big things, and creators, please hear this. This is key, especially if you're ever looking for a sponsorship, if you're looking for an endorsement deal. I would say that the Fortune 50s and 100s, especially the awesome Big Red brand that I was blessed to grow up in marketing with, leading like national campaigns and sweepstakes and all that. Fortune 50, Fortune 100, they are the kings and queens of show me the money. And one of the bigger indicators for any marketer, any brand manager, that you come in the office and you're saying, hey, I want you to sponsor my podcast. I want you to endorse my artist. I want you to endorse my kid, or if you're a momager or whatever your content creator you are. The biggest indicator for that person when they have to go and leave the meeting with you and all of your charm and all of your excitement, they need to be able to take to their vice president a list of the numbers, the records, the impact, the engagement. Engagement is huge. People go into, oh, I've got this many followers, this many likes. What's your engagement? And whether we love her or not, Caitlin Clark being able to come into the league and say, hey, during Final Four weekend, 17,000 people did not just engage online, which is impressive for any piece of content. It is even, I know we live in the land of 15-year-old TikTokers having, 8 million followers and whatnot. But still, 17,000 people is 17,000 people. If you can tell a corporation that you can get 17,000 people to move, like that's the whole point, influencer, that you can actually influence them to take action, that's major. So she wasn't able to just show that she could influence them to hit like or to leave a comment, but she showed that she is able to get these people to get up, get dressed, drive somewhere, and to spend considerable amount of time, stand in line, right? 17,000 people, that's major. So when you are going into a vice president, brand manager, whatever person from Fortune 50, Fortune 100 land, please be ready to show them, hey, this is the actual measurable, credible impact that we have already had in influencing people to take certain actions. And this is what we think we would be able to replicate. So she was able to come into the league saying, this is what I've already done. The kick, though, the kick is the heart of this article is the why, right? And, why is she getting those numbers that she's getting? And the article that we're using, that we're looking at today, digs into the fact that she has gotten not just the jersey and all of that, but that being said, the author of the article says that we should not delude ourselves into believing that her appeal as an influencer, someone who can actually influence people to take an actual action, is solely based on basketball. There's the thought and the question as to whether or not her attractiveness to companies here in the United States, that is it because she is a white woman who has dominated a sport that is viewed as predominantly Black, and also that she is a straight woman that's in a league that is not seen as having a small LGBTQ plus player population. They have a sizable one, and that she is viewed, this is the question, as a person coming from America's heartland, that where people, despite America's history, that these people, they feel that their beliefs and values are being ignored or disrespected. And that's a whole conversation, discussion just in that right there. But that's their belief and that's where they're at. I think that that it's likely true that she's got some what we see in marketing, that if you can do what's called like myth busting, 8 things that you believed about school that are absolutely not true, or 8 things you didn't know teachers did, or whatever, or 8 things you thought you knew. People are ready to dig into that. Myth busting works. So she's a bit of, the whole like white men can't jump. That was one of Spike Lee's most what's it called, like mass appeal movies, right? So she's showing that white women can jump. And can we, if we think about it, have we seen other situations where people benefited because
Sure, let me just for 1 second say this, right? And I'm gonna give you the comparison, especially when you just to end that sentence, what you said, right? Just is no different with her and Tiger Woods. That's exactly where I was going. Exactly, like other, yeah. Right. So people, initially, he's getting all this publicity, and what he's done for golf, and how he's put up the prize money, he's done all these things, and people initially were saying he's just, because he's an African-American Black man, and, no one's seen a Black man golf before. But can he win and do all this stuff? Talent is talent. At the end of the day, those people that's been in the sport, they know real talent. They know when something is just a gimmicky and, they're just pushing it. She is talented. The great basketball minds have not just compared her to Steph Curry or, some of the, There's some people that just have it, and then there's some people that are great. Like I said earlier, the woman that was drafted number 2 has probably better talent than her, but overall marketing, just likable. She's just like me. She's come from the Midwest, so all these different things, it works. And this is what's going to push her. And this is why, like TV, when ESPN knows and they're looking at their analytics and they was like, damn, every time we put her on at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, our numbers are going crazy. They started changing the prime time. They started changing the games and where it's being played at. That's when you make your influencing, people's changing the patterns of what's normal, traditional, when this game was played at a certain time and only played in front of X amount of people. And, here in DC, when she plays the Indiana Fever, the WNBA, the Washington Mystics normally play at a small arena. They did hers. That sold out. They had to put her in the men's basketball arena, and that sold out. Just to show you. They didn't know that in the beginning when they did it, because they had to refund all these people back their tickets that initially purchased it for the other arena. Just to show you, they weren't even ready for this yet. They didn't speculate like she was going to move numbers like she's moving right now. So she's a generational talent right now.
Wait, hold on, Cherise. Well, no, you go ahead. I can wait.
Okay, I'll just say I absolutely agree. There's a saying, and then like the and one shirts that have like the reminders that basically the rent is due every day. And I think that's it. There's a shot here from that same article about Caitlin Clark that she has earned, every endorsement deal that she's gotten. You can be famous, you can have celebrity clients. Believe me, I know. You can have, and I'm thankful for it. Like everybody that I've worked with is a celebrity. I only worked with you or stayed working with you, especially because you're a really awesome human being. One of my favorites that I get to work with regularly is Anthony Hamilton. He's an amazing human being, and I'm going to use Anthony as an example because like people don't realize that how the longevity that he's had. When we see like his streaming numbers, they stay up. They stay up. However, like people don't see, the off the stage, off the screen, interviews. They're showing up and doing like
the
meetups. Oh my gosh, like he is the best for meet and greets. The rest of us can be tired and be like, yo, Ant, the show is over. But if the line is there, he is not going to just leave his fans. He's not going to just. I've never seen him be rude ever to a fan. I've worked with Anthony for over half a decade, and I've never once seen him be rude to a fan. And that's like, okay, so somebody's nice, but like rehearsals or showing up for the company that he's just built, his Hamilton Corner Store, which just got Oprah's favorite things. Like there's a lot of off the stage work that happens. You don't just.
That was within a year, right? Because I remember when you guys watched it. And it wasn't on Oprah's favorite things when you launched it.
because you can't just be famous and think that, oh, well, it's gonna like this pop like that. There's work that happens off the stage. Huge shout out to his manager Eli Davis and to his partner Chef Crystal and Michelle, Nikki, like everybody in the team, because I can't just be like shout out one person.
You're accepting an award right now.
No, I'm not. I'm just like shout out to them because there's work that happens.
But it is an award because a lot of celebrities do launch products that don't hit Oprah's list. We can name a bunch of them, and then black males. Honestly, let's be real. Let's just see. This is the thing. I think both of you just proved my point. Like that's why I was like, so if Shaniqua or if Miss Sharika, who just won the world title for track. Everybody said she was going to be a washout. She wasn't going to do it. She hasn't got one endorsement deal. She is the top fastest female on the planet. Not one. Okay. Now,
Okay, so
if she had, wait a minute, because those y'all went in deep
okay,
into
go
the
for it. Rock it
point.
out. Rock it out.
And so, if she had been Becky from Iowa and a traditional Becky and had blown away the girls from Jamaica, blown them away, they would be saying that is like Caitlyn Jenner. That is like it's reminiscent of Mr. Before they were Jenner, and and guarantee Wheaties would have revised the cover just because this Becky from Iowa, to all the points in the article, has an appeal that is mass, and young mainstream Americans, quote unquote, who are 5 and 7 year olds can see themselves in her, quote unquote.
So, Martin, Hussein Bolt didn't get all of that? What you're just saying?
All I'm saying is that we're talking, but we're talking about Clark here. We're talking about Clark.
So I'm gonna jump in. Two things. One, my husband has heard me say often that I feel like Cat Williams did all of this like curation of the game, and then when his public issues became very public, Kevin Hart was right there with a work ethic that just won't quit, and he was like, "Oh, really? For me, the game, all of it. Well, thank you so much. I will give you that. I think that those are two Black men, that are incredibly funny in their own ways and in their own right. But when it gets to the end of it, even Will Smith, he's said you might out talent him, but you won't outwork him, and the notion here about Caitlin Clark being someone who works hard. I'll give you another one. I know someone who worked as Justin Timberlake's tour manager after working for years. I mean, years, maybe even before I was born, with several artists. And when he went on to work with as one of Justin Timberlake's tour managers, he said he had never seen a work ethic like that there was no, like, it's often in like concert touring world and all that the band and everybody is there at the venue, and often they're waiting on the venue on the artist to show up. Said nope, not Justin. Justin's there before everybody. Justin's there before everybody, and he leaves like after everyone. You can't. There's no substitute for hard work. And that's what I was trying to say before. And that's why I had to shout out the folks that, even though Anthony's brand got the accolade from Oprah, all the people who were working on, not even all, but some of the people who were working off the stage. But there's no substitute. Like, none of us can go and do his like cooking demonstrations for him. We can't be Anthony. Just like with Sharika, I don't know what her off the track work ethic is. I don't know how she is. I don't know how she is with taking meetings for endorsements or any of that. But one thing brands absolutely take into consideration is they've spent millions often of dollars in creating their brand story, being in line with their legal team, following their directions, making sure that their PR and all of that is right. And if they have to choose between you and you're a wild card, and they need to choose between Gina, Keisha, Becky, Michael, Tyrone, and they're not a wild card, they're going to go with not the wild card, because it costs too much to rebuild things inside of your brand once you've partnered with someone and they went completely left in regards to what your brand is about. I think that you can look at Steph Curry, that makes him marketable. You can look at Kevin Hart, that absolutely, even though Kevin's had some things, he hasn't had anything like big, like, he got divorced. He had said some things a long time ago that were not cool for the LGBTQ plus community. I don't think he would do it now. I don't know. I'm not Kevin, but I have been around him and his team, and they are team no sleep. They work. He works. So I think that's a big part of it that people don't get to see. You don't always get to see what's going on behind the scenes when that person's getting called to do the meet before the meet with this director or with their pre-team. And that, are they showing up? Are they showing up sober? Are they a wild card? Like, your brand are things that you can't, there are things you can control about your brand. You can control your tagline, your logo, you can control, but those things are not your brand. Your actual brand is the memories that people have about you, the experiences that they've had with you, your brand history, things that have happened from you and your brand before this moment or opportunity arose. You can't control what the word of mouth is. You can't control what the market is. In 2020, that was a great year for DEI. However, now with the white lash or backlash, however you want to call it, that's happened, there's a lot that's being pulled into question. We've got Lululemon's old CEO and founder out saying really like crazy things, thrashing the brand, saying it's now an everything brand. It's like the Gap for everybody. And he doesn't like the DEI steps that they've taken. So I think there are things like in the market and in the social sphere that you can't control, but you can respond to. And being a threat to an existing brand's history, image, PR, whoever they're trying to be, is just never helpful for anybody. So I think, I'm not saying that like Caitlin Clark isn't benefiting from being seen as a myth buster as it relates to basketball. And, people who are from where she's from, the heartland, they feel unheard, whether or not that's actually true based on this country's history, but they feel unheard, right? And they feel all these things. So I think that is a benefit to her. But if she wasn't putting in the work, if she wasn't showing up for whatever meetings that go along with that, if she wasn't being seen by fans as someone who is receptive and open and all that, then you just can't make up for the actual work, the everyday. You can't, there's no workaround for it. I think she's benefiting from some of that, but I don't think that's all of it.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll see what she does, in the future. And, I just look, it's going to be hard for her in the beginning, just like any other rookie and people that's coming in to a new business, but she definitely has the skill set. And I would almost say, as we talk about marketing and money, I think she was actually underpaid from the endorsements that she got. I think she didn't have a good agent. And I'm not saying the agent, maybe the agent didn't fight as hard, because the numbers what she's bringing in now, she's gonna like surpass so much of the expectations. And if that was me, we'd be going back to the table, man. We got to renegotiate this. we underbid ourselves, man. Talk back to me again. So anyway, let's go. What we talking about? We going to the next thing is, and I know y'all, Martin, Sharice, y'all was talking about what's going on with Kendrick, talking about, over exceeding and just taking it to another level right now. What's going on in that type of, I want to say battle, or just, it's still top of mind, still not just trending. This is still big stories. Everybody's coming out and realizing now, like, hey, how do I include myself into, this, not just beef, but, figure how do I get into the storyline? And it's it's helping. I tell you, I see Game try to jump into it, and everybody's figuring a way how to. But this is what I will say: you're supposed to, in any business, when something is doing well and it's trending. I know, my days at TMZ, when it was a story, and it could be something that's real big, and it could be something that's happening in England or Australia. The first thing we have to do is think of, how do I get into this story? What do I bring? What do I pull up? Who do I get an interview from that can piggyback off of a hot storyline right now that everybody's talking about. And sometimes you can inject yourself into a storyline and take over that whole story now. And your story becomes bigger than the actual one, which I don't know anybody getting over this, bigger than this one. But this is a good way when it comes to, staying relevant and, seeing what's on the top of mind of everybody right now. Because this has been 3 weeks, almost a month now, and this is still, still going. So this is real hot for this is the biggest thing of the year. And when we talk about breaking records, it's like, what I'm sure you said Kendrick is about to break Drake's what's the God song? He's
God's plan.
God's plan. Oh my God, he's beating God now. Kendrick's winning over God. No, this is happening. Damn.
So yeah, I would say that to be honest, like those that follow us at Hip Hop Truth or at Hip Hop Truth we are all about Team Jesus. We are and unashamedly and proud of it. So for me, like out of anything that Drake has ever done or created, like God's plan, I was so excited, honestly, to see the success of that particular track. And it's, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us is now surpassing a streaming milestone for Drake's 2018 God's Plan. And it's, anyone who knows that song should remember, that song was huge, like huge. And I think that your point, Tenji, it shows like the power. Last week we talked about how strong content that compares can be, in the history of rap battles that, versus, shout out to Swiss and Timberland and their, versus platform. It's almost always that if you see the comparisons, even though weight loss companies use it successfully to say, the before and after, the comparison, that is a really strong marketing tactic. It is a really, really strong messaging tactic. I think it's part of why we've seen rap battles do so well. I am a super proud Alpha Kappa Alpha woman. We see that during step shows and during like pro shows that when it gets to the part that we're going to shout out, or maybe not so much.
Were we supposed to say skewy?
When we are I know I did not hear anyone say skewy. I know I did not hear that. I know that there's a process. If you want to do any of our calls, there's a process that you can be taken through. If you want to go with the fellas, there's a process if you take it through. If you want to go with us, but when you get to the part of the show, the step show and the pro show, where the deltas are doing the Q thing, or we are shouting out our bros A5A and doing the train, like when it gets to that comparison, the energy goes up, it just goes up, even if it gets into the disses where another sorority thinks that they want to diss the first and the finest, whatever, or we are dissing them. They're just a different level.
Like Howard does to Hampton, something like that.
Exactly, proud Hamptonian. I'm so glad I went to the real HU. Love y'all. We love our rivalries, right? We love our rivalries. We love our all of that. The history of battles versus the before, after, this, not that. It just goes. It's a strong piece of messaging, and I think that we're seeing that with Kendrick versus Drake. That versus situation, the fact that it's carrying over week after week after week, and we're seeing it pop up in national news, popping up in politics, all kinds of places where there are references to it. It says a lot. Totally, just says a whole lot about the power of battle or versus. So there's that.
Yeah, I noticed it this week. After you said it, I think last week, I noticed that Airbnb and hotels in general are battling in ads. The hotels would be like, why would you want to go to a place where the Airbnb owner is all in your business? And Airbnb is like, why would you want to go to a hotel to get away from the kids to a hotel full of kids? So I was seeing that. I'm like, okay, the hotels versus Airbnb, the lodging wars has begun, with a lead up until summer. And then, of course, the biggest season for lodging is, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I do see it. Maybe the 2024 year will be the versus year, the beef year. This will go down as the biggest beef year in the history of this planet. It's so funny. But yeah, so any final thoughts on this topic?
I just like the direction it's gone so far, in the sense of like lyricists and skills, and it's bringing more music, I guess, and
in a quicker fashion.
Right. Normally, where they've been sitting back, and now people have music that soon as somebody says their name, they're just pushing a button. I'm ready. Yeah. Exactly. So, and it's good. I think being, you have to have competition at some point. This makes you sharper.
Mm-hmm.
And the way hip hop has gone, hip hop has always been the number one music, but they're never recognized as that. And
right.
we see it because we see it through culture and through different things, that anything that happens in hip hop, it can transcend to different other platforms, and corporate takes it from, whether it's street marketing, all the different ideas that started out with hip hop and the whole fabric of that industry. It's been taken away in a way where they model some of the success, and there's nothing wrong with that, believe it or not, because you're supposed to, when you see something successful, you should model it and then throw your own sauce on it. But it just still shows that when music is dying, hip hop still moves the dial, and they know how to get engagement and push on all these platforms where that's not the number one stories, and it also goes onto the news and different outlets, and everybody can start doing, whether it's I even seen a business outlet that does finance reporting on this and doing the breakdown on the type of money which was made or lost, and so it's a good segue into content in itself as well, not even to mention all the different content creators, artists, magazine, or everybody who's making money off of this as well, including me. So
so that's the thing. I want to see our entire rap and hip hop community really, really, really realize the amount of power and leverage and influence that it has. When I worked as a senior marketing manager, leading national campaigns, international partnerships, and shopper marketing, innovation for the entire continent for a huge, huge brand. One of the things that consistently showed up, not just in our company's experience or numbers, but when we would talk to research leaders, those that are content creators that are watching us, I'm about to give you a huge nugget, so catch it. There are free reports from Kantar. There are free reports from NPD. These are huge, huge research companies that go and they look at the data that all of us generate and create. Most people know of Nielsen. There's also what used to be called Iconoculture, but if you type in Iconoculture, their new name will show up. But these are huge, huge research companies, and the data and the study, and I mean studying to the nth detail of what Americans and also their international partners doing, looking at what's going on internationally. They study to the nth degree how we're living, the choices we're making, and what they come up with influences some of the biggest brands in the world as to where they're going and what they do and what they choose to do branding wise. Most of those entities have consistently noted or alluded to or hinted at or highlighted something that's going on in culture like this, to say that Black people, African Americans, ADOS, whatever you want to call Black and brown people who have ethnic roots from Africa in this country, that they say that that we are trendsetters, that and they have, you know, studied it. They're not, I'm not quoting one of them specifically, but I am speaking to my own personal experience and seeing what they produce and share publicly for free online. So y'all can see them. You can look those up, and you can see that they have free reports that you can glean from. If you come on over to hiphoptruth.com and you're uplifting, you know, creator, we share some of that within our community as well. But my point is that the giants, the big of the big, when it comes to marketing, messaging, consumer research, consumer data, purchase intent, they all consistently, in one way or another, give a nod or a direct report to say that people who are considered Black or African American in this country absolutely have the biggest hand ethnicity wise in influencing trends. And so if you are a creator out there, especially if you one who has a leadership role within the industry or hip hop industry, I think it's just so much untapped potential that we have to be able to take that influence and that strength and that trendsetter place that we occupy, and to use it to uplift and to support our community and to highlight and reinforce the positive truths about our community, instead of using that trendsetter status to reinforce or to create some of the negative stereotypes, or to tear down our community, or to even go at each other. I would love to see out of this Drake and Kendrick Lamar finding a way to beat and surpass the impact, the positive impact that God's plan had, numbers wise, spirituality wise, all of that. I would love to see them come out of this and do something together as giants of industry, the rap industry, to uplift the culture and uplift the communities and all the millions and millions and millions of Black and brown little girls and boys who look up at their screens and say, "Ooh, you know, maybe I could be, you know, successful like them." That's my thing with all of it. I think that people really don't realize not just that we're perceived as trendsetters, but that those who actually measure the trends give that credit to African Americans, Black people, ADOS, again, whatever you want to call it. Don't come at me. Whatever you want to call people who are, you know, who live in this country and who have their ethnic DNA roots in Africa and have dark brown skin and woolly hair. They consistently, the trendsetters, those who measure it, the biggest entities out there that measure it in one way or another, often consistently give a nod or a direct statement that African Americans, Black people, whatever, are ADOS, whatever terminology you want to use, that we're trendsetters. So my question is, how do we use that to uplift our community? And get that to be the narrative, you know? So there's that.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I 100% agree. That would be a wonderful world to live in. However, no, I'm just kidding.
You're right, though. You're right. But where we are right now.
Right. And as I always like to say, there's space for negativity. You know, negativity pays the bills. So I think within the content creator spectrum of what our listeners, watchers, viewers can take away from this conversation is where are you at in this process? And I think one of the things that I wanted to focus on this week was Math Hoffa, his YouTube versus Drink Champs. And Math Hoffa has a music interview he did with Joyner this rapper slash, I guess it's called artist rather, singer, and he released it in 18 short videos, 7 to 10 minutes each. But there's a whole video that is his whole interview, and especially on what you were just talking about, anybody that is representing an artist, that is an artist themselves, or cares about the music industry as passionately as Sharice does, should definitely watch Joyner's interviews, the pieces, these 18 clips that's on Math Hoffa's YouTube channel. With that said, if you wanted to watch the whole one, you'd have to pay $9.99 and become a member of his Paywall YouTube channel. And then you could watch the whole entire video, unedited, unclipped. Just, I looked at that versus what I really enjoyed was Drink Champs had a conversation last week with will.i.am. And will.i.am I did not know this man is a storyteller. I didn't know that he also is considered a Blanco, Black Mexican. And so in that conversation, oh my God, 10, he was just phenomenal. And he also talked about the beef, him being in the middle of the beef between Michael Jackson and Prince. But the difference is Drink Champs has the entire interview for free. And
said like most
right. And they clipped it too. They had clips that everybody could use. They had clips that everybody could definitely go see. There's a clip of will.i.am explaining the beef as far as he knew between Michael Jackson and Prince, and how Michael some of the backstory and then what he physically saw in Vegas at the show that Prince was doing, and it was really entertaining. But that's a clip, and so while I can't see the back end, I'm not unable to see the back end of Drink Champs numbers, and I'm unable to see the back end of Math Hoffa numbers. I can guarantee you that they're probably neck and neck. Now, when I look at the Social Blade, their grades, their Drink Champs has been longer than Math Hoffa, so he has a better grade. They have more views, but it's interesting to see the different methodology. I have a video. I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to feed it out to the audience, but the main video I'm keeping for myself and the members that pay me $10 a month. Or I have the video. I'm going to cut it up. Y'all going to like this content, and it's juicy, it's delicious, it's satisfying, and you can watch the whole video also, and it's free. Who wins?
I'll tell you who wins from my perspective. It depends what you want and how good you are, because I've looked at this formula, and you have to be real in a way, intentional what you're doing, and know like, okay, I'm doing this. If this is a long-term gain, right? I'm going to be able to. Do I want more audience? And I can build my brand up where I can go and get different endorsement deals. I can get, with YouTube, I can get the AdSense, or do I just want, immediate money right now where I can say I'm building 1,000 subscribers that's paying me $9, a month, and I'm bringing in $9,000 for, each month. What I know is going to, fluctuate, time, and I can grow it, or I can stay around, that amount, versus I can say I'm playing a long game and I'm not taking immediate money right now, but I know my brand presence. And if I keep getting these big interviews, because once I land this, once more people see it, more eyeballs, I got a better opportunity of somebody else wanting to come on the show. And it's going to push that. So I'm going to get, not just the views, I'm going to get the AdSense, what I'm paid for. And it's going to take me where more people are going to, give me sponsorship deals, or I'm going to get booked and be able to sell out an auditorium and do my show live. So you look at it for different opportunities. And I will say, I like that. That's a creative way, Math Hoffa is doing it, because I've never really heard of it or seen someone do it like that. But I don't know, is it going to be, it kind of reminds me, what's that guy's name from used to be on Fox, and he was one of the first people to go. He had a huge audience, and then he took everything off of Fox and went behind the wall, a paywall. What was his name?
Not Abrams, not Dan Abrams.
No, I can't even remember his name now. And he had a big name. He was a personality on Fox. He had made like
Fox,
the
Fox News or
Tucker
Fox.
Carlson. Tucker Carlson?
No, not Tucker. No, before.
Oh, I know he's on Gene. That starts with a G. Starts with a G.
Yeah, he's a prime example. He
went down. He went way down.
He made a ton of money doing it because
no one's even talked about him for 3 months. I just realized that we haven't even talked like in other words in the sphere of the MAGA and everything else, no one has went on this show.
Right. So it depends if you want to make money, it's a good play, or if you want to, be around and, I don't want to say become famous, but it definitely helps your, the brand, and you can grow and play the long game as well. So it depends how confident you are about yourself. Now, I'm a person, I'll be like, yo, take me to the window, cash me out right now. Here's my chips. Put me behind the wall. Let me get my money. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it 10 years down the road or whatever. So, I think each person knows their self, but that's what, how I look at it when it comes to, Paywall versus giving free content.
Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck. That's it. Yeah. He had a huge audience.
Yeah, and check this out. I actually did a search for the keyword, former Fox News starts his own network. You know what came up? 3 pages worth of Google? Tucker Carlson. I couldn't even, the only reason I remembered, in other words, Google still hasn't fed me his name. They fed me a Greg something, and then that made me think of GL, and then I was like, okay, Glenn. So the behind
his brand just disappeared. He was one of the big ones.
He really was huge. He was major. He was like Tucker Carlson before there was Tucker Carlson. So here's a thought for content creators that are considering, right? Do you do your content for free, or do you do it behind a paywall, or what do you do? So there's the thing. Here's a tried and true marketing rule that you can use. People, when it comes to content, they typically are going to tune into and engage with content that either 1, entertains them, 2, that educates them, or 3, that inspires them. Those are usually the 3 things. When you look at a movie, when you look at TV channels, shows, the podcast you're into, 9 times out of 10, it's doing, if you're engaging with it, you're actually watching it regularly, it's doing one of those things, either educating you, entertaining you, or inspiring you. If you want to have content that is behind a paywall, then you need to be doing one of those 3 things at a level that is higher than the average. And you also need to be doing this in a way that if you ever go to Lean Startup, I used to be a part of doing Lean Start in a day at Coca-Cola when I was working in marketing innovation. You need to be doing one of those 3 things in a way that is at or above the average, and in a way that they can't already get what you're trying to give for free. Okay, so if they're already getting what you're offering for free, then it's probably not in your interest to put it behind a paywall. If you are giving or providing content for that people with a small amount of time and energy can get access to for free, then that's an issue. But if you have the exclusive, right? You're doing entertainment and you have the exclusive, or you've got knowledge or know-how that you are aggregating and putting in a really easy place for people to use, like coaches do, that's really user-friendly, super user-friendly, then you may have something to work with. But if your content is kind of like sporadic, or your platform that you're using isn't super user-friendly, and folks got to navigate all these hoops where they might as well have gone to YouTube or YouTube University and look for it themselves, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, and you might be better served to do your content and putting it out seemingly for free, but on YouTube or Facebook, with where you're getting paid via ads. So that's how I see it. With many and most things as it relates to marketing, it always goes back to me, like what is the data shown? What is the research shown? It's been proven in the market.
I look at it like this too, Sharice, and I love what you're saying with that. I look at it like most of the time when you're doing like content, and especially if it's educational, you can give the what and the why of, you know, why you should be doing this, what will happen and stuff like that. But when it comes to paid, you know, you're going to teach them how to do it, you know, and that's the difference. Those are free. The implementation is a fee. And I'm gonna get, and I'll give you two stories real quick. What I've learned about that. I know for me personally, there was somebody that was teaching, and this is before subscriptions models was working, and he would tell you about it and how to do it, not how to do it, but why you should do it. The money would even show you everything. But just that and getting the software and all that thing is, I literally paid $17,000 just to get the implementation. And I knew what I was paying for. It wasn't all the other things, but I wanted to learn firsthand from this person so I can go and do it. I wanted that process to be fast, so I had to pay for that. And this is what happens where all the other things that was given to me at that time were for free. But to learn the real source and how do you do it, and you know, you're paying for that implementation. And this is what me and Martin been talking about, what's changing in the direction of see. And this is where things are changing right now with everybody's, you know, your email is bombarded with all of these free, you know, lead magnets and, you know, get this and do this, these steps and stuff like that. All that's good. What's going to work is somebody really teaching you firsthand how to do it. And when you learn how to do it, it becomes easier and your money is more well spent. Another thing I would use, and this is, you know, working with TMZ, what I've noticed when I first started working with them, I knew the prices of videos and photos, and I'm talking about the crazy numbers with, you know, 100,000 for one, you know, 200. I knew the number, and then I would see when TMZ, and this is me still working, but I didn't understand what they were doing. They were giving it away for free. They had the exclusive videos on big stories, and I would see on different, you know, Entertainment Tonight, all these other channels. But what they were doing is they were making sure when they used that video, they were crediting them in a big way with that TMZ watermark on there. So what that did, that built brand. You know, that built brand for TMZ, even though they could have charged or they could have sold that content because all of these platforms would have bought it, but they gave it away for free. And just like I said earlier, they were playing a long game. They already had the money, so they knew they could have sold it and they would have made short money instead of playing the long. Because when you sell it now, that person just shows that video and they don't have to use your watermark. They don't have to reference you. But what they did, they wanted people to know. So, and that would help build their site and would build their TV show because it brought that brand awareness. So, you know, like I said, tell you, when you're thinking about, you know, be intentional on where you want to be. Do you want to make money right now like me? Or do you want to be like Martin and Sharice? They're going to play the long game, you know, and they're going to be.
Hold up. I got a shout out.
Take me to the window.
I got to shout out CTRM Media Network. We don't have an official press release, but to your point, Tim, that's why our show is going to be aired over CTRM Media Network, founded by Dr. Tina Ramsey, because as you just said, Tim, she will be airing our content, showing off our CKQ to her 35,000 viewers. And so I don't know about waiting to the long game. We about out here doing that.
I'm just playing. I know Sharice is ready now.
From someplace else. So like,
yeah, he knew he was gonna get a rise out of us with that. It was like whoa.
No, Martin sometimes be like, no, just give it away for free, 10G. Don't give them the how to. Huh? Give them the what, the why, and the how. Then why do they need me, Martin? We're not here for that. We want to give it away. Okay, Martin.
Yeah, I think
the heart, the big heart. Big heart.
Yeah, Mark got the big heart.
No idea for that.
I think that we are people on the same different sides of the same coin, because the average in the content game will say, and we are going to air some of CTRM's content across our platform that I control. So my LinkedIn page, my YouTube channel, my Twitter account. And so while they have 35, they reach 35,000 across all platforms except TikTok and Twitter. We're going to co-brand some things, and we're going to make sure that we take their content, air off places like I have a Twitter account that has 80K. The LinkedIn has 27. So the places where CTRM is weak at, we're boosting them up as they boost us up to a whole new audience. I think that I believe you give people what they want to know, because here's the thing. I like the binge all at once model. I really don't like the episodic model. I don't want to string you along for 12 weeks to the season finale. I want you to be able to, if you want to watch it, all one night, fine. If you don't want to watch it all night and you want to watch it as you get a chance to, that's fine too. But that it's one way or the highway crap that NBC, CBS, and ABC did for a decade, and Fox did for decades, and that Netflix and Amazon Prime disrupted. I'm here for the disruption. I'm here for the choices and options. And I think that's one thing that community didn't have historically. We didn't have options. Now we got options, y'all. And I'm for the options, whatever they are.
And in line with that, I just want to make sure we absolutely share our excitement and our love. Martin, if you could say again, our new streaming partner, their founder, and the name, the acronym, so that everyone can, because we want to show that love. Like we are excited to be getting picked up, by bigger networks and to be streaming more places. Like, this is awesome. It's huge. And we love our streaming partners. So if you're seeing this and you got a platform, get at us, DM us, talk to us. We can work something out. Likely. Everything is negotiable. That's what they say in the legal game. But yes. Martin, if you could share, again, if we want to share that excitement.
Sure. So C as in cat, T as in Tom, R as in Robert, Media Network, CTRmedianetwork.com is the website that was founded, and the network that was founded by Dr. Tina Ramsey. They are streaming across every single platform that's out social-wise, and also streaming across Roku with their own channel, which the channel is, to 10G's point, the channel on Roku is free. The app is free to download. There's no paywall, unlike some others. I'll just say that are Black streaming Roku channels that charge you for the app. Dr. Ramsey believes, like we do, is in the freemium model. Look, let me get you the content for free. Let me get you the app for free. And then if you see something on their show, if you think that you want to buy, hey, have at it. But I'm not going to charge you a monthly fee to get access to the content behind the paywall, quote unquote. So yes, 100% excited that she reached out to us. There was another another email from another company asking would we be interested in sponsorship. Did a little investigation, and not necessarily, I don't think they're a good fit for us, but I haven't told you guys about it. But I'll tell you about it. But my point is that it is an exciting time for content creators, because you have to go out and pitch people. Now people see the body of work, they see the vision, and I got to give a shout out to Sharice, because she's kept us, at least me, she's kept me on a straight and narrow of focus, what this content and what we're doing here as we discuss the topic, how we split it and break it apart, so that hopefully you as a viewer or a listener, because CTRM also has podcasting platform with 50 other podcasts. So we'll be taking this show and breaking it down into audio for their podcast platform as well. So if you're listening, our goal with our fearless visionary, the former futurist of the Big Red brand, one of the former futurists.
One of
Yeah. As far as I know,
Thank you for keeping it accurate. Yeah.
I got to be fair. But to that point, helping us to make sure that we stay true to our model, which is to give content creators a breakdown that they can actually digest and use, and then take that. So it's not just, oh, look what Club Shay Shay did, or oh, look what Meek Mills is battling so and so. It's no, well, what's behind that? How is the ebb and flow of the traffic? What brands have decided to chime in and or have stayed away? And so all that's good content in general, but it's even better, to Tenji's point, to give that information to people that can, without making you jump through hoops for that, and sign up for our email newsletter to get the breakdown of really what happened. Like that always irritated me. I mean, from way back in the day. I forget who did that. I guess it was, if you could consider it to the what do you call it, the book people that would send you the books. If you signed up, you got the books and a book a month, but the books on the actual flyer were the books you wanted, but the book they sent you it was like, what is this? When am I gonna get John Grisham? Because that was on the flyer. So that.
Where's my Terry McMillan?
I'm showing my age, but y'all get the point. The bait and switch and the clickbait, we ain't here for that. People need content, they need information, they need it now. They need to be able to make decisions. They need those decisions are sometimes family legacy, generational wealth decisions, because you're leaving a company and you're starting your podcast studio or you're starting your content channel, and you're using your 401k to do it. And there needs to be a place you can go to really understand all the processes, and then where's the monetization model, and be able to make a decision. Because you may be totally completely different than us, and you may actually want people to pay you per month. You want to see a monthly check from all your subscribers. Hey.
And speaking of when it comes to not just the content and being able, like if you're leaving work or you're trying to get another income stream, this is the best time right now with content and starting a business and just doing the things, because the creator economy and everybody who's putting out content or has a small business, you got to start considering yourself a creator. And also and I've been saying this a long time, you should also act accordingly like your own media company as well, because everybody should start thinking of themselves, because you're the top of the funnel when it comes to what needs to be put out there and how you get it to the masses. So you're a network and a media company in that type of format, and whether it's just through text, video, audio, whatever it is, you have an audience. And I will say the opportunities now are just there's plenty of them. I know I even have something. I'm getting ready to put out a wait list today. If you could check on my Instagram I have software that we're putting together that's going to get you not just leads, but actual people that's showing their budgets of what they're looking to spend for you to work with, looking for people for, let's just say, putting their social media, whether it's email marketing, whether it's copywriting, all these strategies, all these different things. And, it's basically just tapping. You can be anywhere in the world now and, get that. And it's the different, we're at a time where automation definitely helps, and getting ahead of all these things can, allow you to, making 20K a month and have these different opportunities. So check my Instagram later in my stories. I'm definitely going to have a wait list because I'm only taking on a few people in the beginning, so I could have the success stories to show right away, like this shit works. So watch.
Serious face is like the FTC. Oh no, not the FTC. Okay, cool.
I'm sorry, I'm supposed to curse. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that. I think I think that we definitely have because we're going to interview people that have the curse word in their book title. So
So we're almost up on time, but I want to make sure that we give some honorable mention to a few stories that are not getting a bunch of shine really quickly. If we could, one of them that because I shared those at the top too, so I want to make sure we deliver what we promised. Those that, like I said before, I am a huge fan and I'm not a fan of many because those that know the situation, I grew up backstage and I'm thankful for that. My dad was a drummer for the Isley Brothers, and my there's a lot. But anyway, I'm not like easily impressed, as many people aren't. But I am a huge fan of Miss Lauryn Hill. And I think that from content creators, I love what we're seeing and hearing from her and her son, Bob Marley's grandson right now, that her son, I think this is a situation, whether it was intentional or unintentional. They are absolutely sharing this announcement in a time what would be considered in a marketing world as striking when the iron is hot. The One Love movie has come out. It's done pretty well. Most people I think of all ages. I've seen positive feedback for Bob Marley's story in the movie One Love. Get positive feedback from Black people, white people, young, old. It's a great. It kind of speaks to why we are still talking to Bob Marley so many years, talking about Bob Marley so many years after he left this earth. He was an extraordinary person. It was from what we can see of all accounts. So of course his story, when told accurately, would be strong as well. So the movie depicting this extraordinary man is doing really well. I love the timing of Miss Lauryn Hill's son, Bob Marley's grandson, announcing that they are working on new music and a new album. So many times.
You said Timon. I said you said Timon. The Timon and Lauryn Hill together. You know that.
I did. And I have receipts that I was blessed and fortunate to be at her concert around this time last year when she was part of Mary J. Blige's Woman Festival. Huge shout out to Charles Ford, the designer for that show. And thank you to my husband for making sure that I was there. But we were there. I think we were like on the third or fourth row. And I was happy to share and announce that Miss Lauryn Hill was absolutely on time. And not only was she on time, she slayed. Oh my gosh, she slayed. She totally slayed. So there's that. And I can let y'all know for sure, if she was showing up late to things, we would be hearing about it because the internet. No. I mean now, lately. And lately.
I saw her and Nas together on the show. And they both killed it. It was she's amazing. I will say though, I remember she said one time when she showed up late, she said, "Y'all should be lucky I'm even here." I said, she's a legend. She's a legend. She's she's rightfully so. She's.
Let's. I want to say this for next week, but I do want to just what you just said is really interesting based on the conversation we just had, and so I would like to give Sharice a chance to unpack a little bit more into that concept, because while I do love Miss Lauryn Hill's album Miseducation, and I also constantly played her unplugged CDs in our bookstore for 2 years straight. Anytime somebody can, you play as Lauryn Hill. That's right, I do. And that said, what makes a legend? What makes a legend? Because 2 albums to me don't make a legend. When you said that just now, made me think about wait, hold on a second, TJ, just hold on. I said, but 2 albums where somebody else has a discography of 15, and they're not as legendary, we'll say.
Because those 15 don't add up to the one.
That's it. That's it. That's it. What that man right there, this man right there just said, that's it. What we
So
talked
basically,
about.
this is Mary J. Blige, huh?
No, Mary J is a legend. She's a legend. The concert that I went to, they did that together. And I've been blessed to work on shows where Miss Mary J. Blige was on stage, and she did not disappoint. She is amazing.
Yeah, she's a good entertainer. She's an excellent entertainer.
Yeah, so I'm thankful and blessed to have worked on shows and events where Miss Lauryn Hill was on stage, where Miss Mary J. Blige were on stage. I would love to see more of what they bring to music and to Black music amplified. So really wanted to shout out what she and her son, Bob Marley's grandson, is doing. I love the striking while the iron is hot, while one love is still a relevant conversation and still being added to platforms. But to answer your question, Martin, we talked earlier about content, right? It has to inspire, entertain, or educate. That's usually the situation. And if you put out a piece of content like Alex Haley with Roots, right? He put out Roots. I don't know that he put out another mini series that had the impact that Roots did. He also, do the, I think, autobiography of Malcolm X. He's done other things. The impact, what we know him for, what made him have the acclaim that he had, I think is inarguably Roots. And if you put out a piece of content that is making the impact, that inspires, educates, or entertains, as Miss Lauryn Hill absolutely has done for generations, and that changes the game for generations and for decades, then that, I think, is part of where your legend comes from. The legend isn't just in being consistent, but I think that it is almost always in impact. And that can be measured. All those marketing research companies that I named earlier have absolutely made me a believer that it can be measured. And those who are just tuning in, if you're just seeing this clip, earlier in this episode, we shared 3 amazing resources that absolutely speak to and are used by the biggest corporations in the world. And I think all 3 of them do give away free resources. So if you're watching the replay, you might want to rewind or catch the replay. But so I think that that's the deal for Miss Lauryn Hill. Like her Grammy night that night, the fact that she has I'm a fan. I'm a little speechless, but just
week when we do, I should save it for next week when we talk about the legends and we give, what makes it. Because I have an interesting story of a musician, a backstage scenario that I'm going to share next week as well. So I think that's going to be a good topic, and it's, it kind of transitions on to, business owners and entrepreneurs as well too. And you have to take some of those different lifestyle skills that help you become, a legend in your industry and what you do as well.
Exactly. And so I will save it. I will. I was, fortunate to be running around the stages of, I guess, people who are, I don't know if they would have been considered legends then. The Isley Brothers, P-Funk, a bunch, and then because of that, running around Frankie Beverly stages, Luther Vandross, Patti LaBelle stages. Didn't even know these people were famous. But there were things that showed up consistently for each of those. So I'll save it to share next week. And also for honorable mention in stories this week, there from the Christian rap site, Rapzilla, shout out to them and their consistency. We have a story of Derek Minor, who is an artist that is, I think, doing something that I would love to see more content creators do. We probably all have things on the shelf that are just literally just on the shelf, collecting dust. He's giving his fans a lost track from one of his more successful projects. And so I wanted to share this and really let it be a reminder to content creators to go back and look at that series that you were going to do as a coach, that was a educational series, or that all that content you were going to put behind a paywall, or content that you did put behind a paywall, your old interviews, or projects, things that you worked on where there maybe a picture of you accepting an award. I know I'm definitely guilty of not using content that I've already created and accolades that I've already received. I've never posted ever that I received I think something like extraordinary women of being recognized by Coca-Cola as one of like 4 extraordinary women. This consumer engagement American marketing award, that a project, a national campaign that I received from the American Marketing Association. Like, there are things, accolades that most content creators have gotten, or things, resources you've created that are literally just sitting on the shelf. So big shout out to Derek Minor for not letting his discography that's not released just sit there on the shelf, but to actually take it and say, hey, this was for a really dope project, and to use that to get buzz, to get his fans excited, and to give it out again. So those are some of the things I wanted to highlight from my perspective. Martin and Tenji, before we jump, are there any things that you have that you're working on or that you're excited about that you want to make sure that you share with our awesome folks? And thanks to everybody that's jumping in and stayed in with us. We see you. We see that it shows us that you're there. So hi, thank you.
I just say this, I'm posting a thing for the project that I'm working on right now, and I'm putting out a wait list. And I will say, if you need a side business and you understand content, this is for you. This will help you make money. I don't guarantee anything, but I guarantee you will make some money. And just using the steps and really understanding it and seeing where things are going right now, it's almost like a no-brainer. So that's the only thing I got to talk about.
I've seen it, and it's not almost like a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer.
Boom. There's that.
Okay. So until next week, y'all, we will see y'all. We're gathering some content, and we'll be here with y'all again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping in, everybody. All right. See you soon.